wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
Hello, my astrology family. This is Lada from astrolada.com, and these are your October 2021 video horoscopes for all the 12 signs. And by the way, October will be a very fascinating month because we have 4 planets turning direct, which is very positive to some extent because it means many areas of your life will start moving ahead in a positive direction without surprises and complications. So we expect a big turn of the winds happening in October. But if you want to have more specific predictions for your personal chart only, you can check for free your personal transits on my free transit calendar. You can see a video out of it here. And each transit is specific for you. No one else in the world will have them at the same time as you. So you can really follow what's exactly happening, like a professional astrologer will do it for you from my transit calendar, which is for free for everyone. And now enjoy the 2021 October videos. Hello, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This is October videos for 2021. And in October, you will feel more like yourself because Leo is an expressive extrovert sign. And Leo, like all the other fire signs, they like things to move forward, to be more action, to be more external, rather than internal energies. And that's exactly what's going to be happening in October. 3 planets and Pluto, 4 planets, are turning direct gradually one after another throughout this month till the 20th. They're all moving direct, which those 3 planets, Saturn, Mercury, and Jupiter, rule 6 out of 12 areas in your life, which means that 6 out of 12 areas which were kind of stagnant, had more complications, they were more introverted, introspected, more internalized, not much was happening, or there were some blockages and difficulties to overcome. Gradually in October, those 6 areas of your life start straightening out, and the tides turn in a different direction, which is to move forward, to have progress, things to become, not to have to be redone all the time, not to have to jump hoops in order to make it happen and try 3 times as harder. So a lot of positive news. And of course, I can mention all of those 3 areas. First, Saturn is turning direct, and Saturn rules you as the Leo, here. Saturn is turning direct in your 7th house, and it rules your 6th house as well, rules the 6th and the 7th house. Around the 11th, Saturn starts turning direct. So you'll see a big positive shift in your relationships, the 7th house. If there were some delays or complications or even blocked feelings towards a partner or difficulties in the life of a partner, or difficulties in a relationship, it might be a personal or business relationships, or kind of more negativity there, it starts improving gradually. If there was some kind of delays in contracts and agreements and fulfilling an obligation of another towards you, or you towards another, or fulfilling some promise, you start seeing that this is being resolved, this issue, and the tension and the more testing energies in your relationships are starting to move forward. And if you have a relationships personal, you start moving ahead together forward in a direction that is easier. And if you have, it can also indicate that certain complicated contracts or agreements that you have with others become easier. They start paying off for the hard efforts you've put there. Plus, Saturn rules your 6th house, and when it starts moving direct, if there were some complications, delays, blockages with your work and your health as well, these will start straightening out. Sorry, someone is cutting. Just a second. These will start also improving with the work project, the complications at work, or with your health, which is the 6th house, start also becoming easier after the 11th of October, and things starts moving ahead there. And of course, Jupiter on the 18th is also turning direct. Jupiter is also in your 7th house, so it further starts improving your relationships with others, relationships with clients, relationships with your audience, if you have relationships with your personal partner, if you're in a committed partnership or business partnership, and people that you collaborate with. If you've been working again over the last few months hard on some collaboration or with another person to do something, you will start seeing the results of it after the 18th, more and more the rewards, because Jupiter is the rewards, and things start moving forward ahead, especially in matters that you depend on someone else. Say you have some project you've been working, but they've been delaying it because someone else has to do their part, and they've been slowing things down, and it's been like pulling, I don't know what it's called, like pulling it out of your fingers, and it's been so slow because of others that you're relying on. Well, because both planets, Jupiter and Saturn, starts moving direct in your seventh house. So those that you're dependent on for something, it's business or personal matter, arranging some matter, they will come around finally. They will deliver what they need to deliver. They will start moving ahead. And again, it's positive for your relationships, the life of your partner. If your partner has been having some difficulties in their life, both planets by the 19th or 18th of October indicate that you can get things, their life will improve a lot more, their situation will become easier, things for them will start moving ahead. Also, if you had blockages about meeting someone, well, those two planets were retrograde in your seventh house, this will be removed, and especially after the 18th you can encounter a new partner in your life, whether for business or for marriage or for committed relationships. While they're retrograde, and they've been retrograde for the last 3-4 months, it's more like dealing with people from your past, dealing with already existing issues with a partner, delving deep on those issues somehow, and trying to solve them, trying to rearrange matters, to restructure the relationships. But when things start moving ahead, Jupiter and Pluto, and Saturn in your seventh house, things start really moving positive ahead. In anything that you are dependent on another project that you're doing with another person, or contracts and agreements that you're trying to sign, they would come out much better. And of course, Jupiter also rules your fifth house, which means that if there are complications in your love life or delays or blockages, they will also improve. Or if your kids were very difficult, and they might have been, because Jupiter rules your fifth house and it's been with Saturn for a long time, but at least, which means more responsibilities, more stresses there, but at least both Saturn and Jupiter moving direct, so things will get more according to plan, not so unexpected, not so with effort always. And Jupiter also, what does it rule? It rules your eighth house, so matters connected to money from others, taxes, insurances, inheritances, mutual finances and resources, money that comes to you from your business partners or from your clients, or resources that come to you from your marriage partner as well. If there were some delays or blockages or difficulties, they start getting resolved. But the biggest impact you would feel will be in the seventh house, because they're turning direct there. All right, so very good news there. And here we have a huge focus as well in your third house. Very busy month. Third house is the house of business, busyness, busy, busy, busy. You'll be like a social butterfly. Both houses are very social, and all social blockages that you had by the 18th, any social blockages would start getting resolved, because the third house is not so much one-on-one, but it's more like people in your immediate environment, your mates, your friends, your relatives, your siblings. So it will be a very busy month with siblings and relatives of any sorts for some of you. You might be revising, you might be meeting up till the 18th with relatives or siblings or mates from the past, because Mercury is retrograde in your third house, or with some old associates, or completing some projects in a team, having to fix them, to edit them, to change things, to constantly have conversations, how to do it, how to change it. It is busy, it's a bit stressful, because Mercury is retrograde till the 18th, and it is with Mars the whole month. So you can have more fights, and you can get, if you're working in a team, it can get more competitive, it can get more people, saying things with your colleagues and exploding. You might be even under pressure to rush for something, to complete it, because Mars is go, go, go. And Mercury is like, oh, but there is a mistake, it's not good like that, let's fix it. And sometimes fights can erupt in a team of people, with your workmates, or with, even if you're not working, or if you're working. Third house is social media. So be careful the whole month almost. Mercury is with Mars in your third house of communication and social media. You can say things you can, you might have to return back and apologize for, especially when Mercury is retrograde. You might regret the things you say, or others might say things to you in your immediate environment or social media that really affect you, that really uh, anger you, because Mars is there and the Sun is there, you're there. But you might be very busy this month, for example, especially till the 18th, completing some projects that are connected to writing, to speaking, to communication, social media, marketing, information, learning some skills. Maybe you might have be required to use a lot of your community skills that you, or any kind of skills. Mercury is any kind of skills that you have to put triple effort into till the 18th, and then it can be like a completion of some project. For example, I'm recording the 2022 videos and I'm Leo moon till the big part of October, so it's like a triple effort. Retrograde planet requires triple effort, 3 times more focus, and redoing things over and over, putting finishing touches, a lot of communication activation, and I hope that by the time Mercury turns direct, very likely I'll have completed them and be able to complete that project and see the results of it. The direct planet, you start seeing the results of your hard efforts. So think in your life in a similar topics. Are you studying on something? Are you working on something mental, doing some reports or many documents you're dealing with while during this Mercury retrograde with Mars till the 18th of October? You might feel stressed about those things, deadlines with documents and so on. Stressed in your social media communication. Some of you might even decide on the spur of the moment, which is very Mars-like, to cut off certain social media accounts, to cut off, to delete some, because Mercury retrograde is reconsider. What kind of thoughts are you letting into your mind? What kind of things are you watching on TV? What kind of things are you reading on social media? Or what kind of people are you letting to write to you, or you're talking on a daily basis with? And you can get very angry because Mars is with Mercury, especially the first, I'd say, 2 weeks of October, especially the first 20 days of October. You can get very angry and say, I don't want this kind of, if someone attacks you, or someone is like, you might cut off people in your immediate environment, even sometimes relatives, because you reassess that these are, and on the spur of the moment with Mars, you're like, Mars is a knife. Or or you might have little patience with people on social media and say things that I would advise you before sending an email to a client or some correspondence. Make sure you check for mistakes, especially till the 20th. Make sure you don't rush. That's my biggest problem. Always, if you're using some equipment, electronic devices, or if you're buying new such, be careful till the 18th. Mercury, the planet of electronic devices, in the 3rd house, the planet of electronic devices and any kind of equipment and tools, is kind of compromised, conjunct Mars, so it can break or you have to return it. But it's good time to fix such old ones that are broken. But you can have some aggro with equipment and cars and transportations, and that's kind of frustrating. But after the 18th, when Mercury turns direct, all of this starts getting resolved. And after that, there is a lot of good aspects. Mars will make a trine to Jupiter in your 7th house from the 3rd house. So all kind of, if there were any complications and stresses with siblings, with relatives, with mates, with teammates, with projects requiring writing, speaking, using your mind, using your skills that probably are quite intense till the 20th. After that, you start seeing the great results and it turn out it's for good. Plus, the whole time that Mercury and Mars are conjunct your Sun means you'll be very busy. You'll be talking a lot more than normal. You'll be more active physically than normal. You have a lot of activities. Go, go, go. You really have to plan your days quite well because it will be busy. But it's again Mars with the Sun. It's you. You might feel more motivated than other times this month, but at the same time, you might feel, and especially more motivated and inspired, because Mars rules your 9th house and it joins you, the Sun, in the 3rd house. So you might be speaking motivationally or teaching and have to put a lot of energy about teaching or preaching or even fighting about your beliefs with others. It might be on social media or just in your everyday communications, or you just maybe some task, business task or administrative or communication, speaking, writing or media task will require a lot of your energy, a lot of your higher insight. Plus you can be busy traveling, short travels, but they might be inspired by desire to expand your horizons to learn something. You might be inspired by desire for there's definitely focus and on long-term travel as well, because Mars, the rule of the ninth, is with your sun. They joined together exactly around the ninth, so I would say the first 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, you can see such developments with communication, with media that are very intense, and maybe some new project. You might be completing old such mental projects, skills projects, but also new one will come kind of simultaneously, because Mercury retrograde means you're completing some old stuff there. But Mars and the Sun join together for a new cycle, which will continue 2.5 years. So something you can start in October connected to media, to marketing, to communication, to learning some skill, to information, to writing, to speaking, to transportation, to travel, that will be very important for you, and it will be active in your life for the next 2.5 years. So very busy month for such completion of such projects. Sorry. That the one day I decide to record and Mars is already in the third house for us Leos. It's like someone start using tools and drills. That's very much Mars in the third house, being first when you're trying to do some communication, information, writing, speaking, media, that there's some stressors. So I had to cut 3 times for the Leo video, but you can see in action how the energies might play. Yes, you might be frustrated by others in your daily environment, that by neighbors, in my case, and or by teammates, but you can get a lot done anyway, and you plow through. You're not gonna stop. You're gonna get it done. I forgot what else I was gonna say, but yeah, so you're gonna start some new projects. Then, by the way, they'll be for the good, and because the whole time that this Mars Sun Mercury conjunction is happening most of October for you Leos in your third house, which is busy communications, activity, business, most of the careers nowadays which are online are third house, sales, marketing. Well, this whole time Jupiter is making a trine to those planets. So despite of some of the aggros, the stresses, some of the possibilities for things breaking down in your equipment, or having to redo things and having to redo your plans and being so busy, having to really be careful, because there'll be a lot of surprises in your everyday activities, which is the third house. You plan to do something, especially till the 18th, and something crops up and you change your plans. You have to change your plans on the go. So this is kind of frustrating, but Jupiter is holding a trine to those planets in your third house the whole time. So even if this frustrates you, it indicates, and you have to change your plans and do a new plan or new whatever, it means that actually the final project will be for the best. The whatever irritations there were, even if you have to redo something with team or verbal written project, the final result will be really positive. And what helps you in everyday altercations and fights that can happen and stressors is Jupiter in the 7th house. Maybe your partner can help you, maybe a counselor, advisor can help you, or just Jupiter naturally rules your higher self, which is like your ability to see from a higher perspective and to forgive. But every time you feel frustrated this month and willing to go fight with someone, write something, speak with your partner first, or someone close around you that you trust. This is Jupiter in the 7th house, because they will be the wiser person. They'll really tell you how to respond, or tell you what is the best plan of action when you're feeling frustrated, or just kind of brainstorm with another person on one-on-one. Might be your best friend, might be your spouse, might be your counselor, whoever it is. But anyway, thank you so much, Leos. Before they start, oh no. Have a great week, great month again.